Well, it's official. Another one bites the dust. Another trusted insider liberal for Justin Trudeau has announced that he is not running for re-election. And in his statements where he says, I'm not running for re-election, he doesn't thank Justin Trudeau, which is a massive blow to Trudeau, considering every single MP thanked Trudeau. Even Chrystia Freeland thanked Trudeau. So we're taking a look at that news along with a couple other things. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you all to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It does really help grow the channel. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Starting off with the polls. You got Pierre Poilievre sitting at 232 projected seats with a bottom line of 206 and the top end of 253. I do suspect that in the coming days when this does update, you're going to see Pierre probably launch up into the higher 230s, whereas Justin Trudeau is sitting at 39 projected seats. He's probably going to start coming down into 31, 32, and the NDP at 25. He might actually catapult over Justin Trudeau just in time for the election. And then you have 99% likely across the board for the Conservatives of winning the most seats and odds of a majority government. So things on that front are still looking phenomenal for Pierre Poilievre. Where things aren't looking phenomenal are CEOs in Canada. According to this video here by Global News, CEOs in Canada, the highest paid CEOs, earn 210 times more than the average worker in 2023. That's bananas. Let's take a look.
By 10:54 a.m. on January 2nd, Canada's richest CEOs will have made more money than the average worker makes all year.
CEOs make 210 times what the average worker makes, and it's hard to conceptualize just how much more that is.
A lot more than in 1998 when the ratio was 104 times. A new report from the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives shows Canada's 100 highest paid CEOs received $13.2 million in compensation on average. Not a record, but right up there after 2 years in a row of record gains. Only 3 women make the list, and they're outnumbered by men named Scott or Michael.
And they've always been an all-boys club, and there's no indication that that is changing.
What's changed among the rank and file is a 7% increase in wages this past year. Pay raises as a result of labor action helped narrow the gap between everyday workers and those in the corner office.
It's completely out of touch.
Public anger over corporate greed seems to have reached a tipping point. Case in point, the collective support for America's most notorious accused CEO killer on Saturday Night Live.
Luigi Mangione dropped... Yeah, definitely woo. You're wooing for justice, right?
Though unpopular when first announced, this summer's changes to the capital gains tax inclusion rate takes aim at the wealthiest, forcing capital gains of more than $250,000 to be taxed a little more like regular working income.
There's 5 people on this list that will likely owe over $800 million more in taxes because of this one change.
Anne Gaviola, Global News, Toronto.
I feel like for those 5 people, there's going to be some type of workarounds. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that. And then this hour is 22 minutes, did another sketch. This time, we're only going to watch like a few seconds of it. But this time, you have Freeland asks Trudeau to stay, or Trudeau asks Freeland to stay. This is supposed to be Justin Trudeau. Doesn't seem that good, but let's watch a couple seconds.
Justin, I'm leaving. I made that very clear in my private letter to you that I let everyone read.
Chrystia, wait. I love the way that your smile goes down at the side.
And then he continues down this whole thing, and you can see her face not having it at all. I don't know. This hour is 22 minutes seems to be capitalizing on this opportunity to basically shit on Trudeau and expose a little bit of the truth. But again, it's satire, and they pretty much always have Justin Trudeau's back. But who doesn't have Justin Trudeau's back anymore is Marco Mendicino. So let's take a look here. This was posted on X by the Canadian Politics Insider. He did not thank Trudeau in his statement. Here is Marco Mendicino's statement. Today, I am announcing that I will not be seeking re-election as a member of Parliament for Eglinton Lawrence. I will continue to serve out of the remainder of the session on behalf of my constituents. It has been the honor of a lifetime to be an MP for this incredible Toronto riding in Parliament for 3 consecutive terms, as well as a minister of 2 portfolios in the federal cabinet. I am forever grateful for the strong support of my constituents in each of the elections, which we won by decisive margins. However, as much as I love the job, this is the right decision at the right time for me and my family. And I'm just going to pause that for a second. The polling for his riding is showing that he's not even going to win his riding. So these people are jumping ship, trying to have this noble exit. They were going to lose anyways, right? And so they just don't want to lose. They don't want to go down in that defeat. And so they're doing these types of resignations, which is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. You're going to see a sweeping majority across Canada like we've never seen before. And I'm pretty excited for it. Some will recall that when I initially announced my intention to seek the federal nomination, I was not the preferred choice to be the candidate for the Liberal Party of Canada. As the son of an Italian immigrant family, I learned not to expect any handouts and to fight for what I believe in, including the opportunity to serve. I ran hard, knocked on thousands of doors, and built a strong and positive campaign which put people first. Together, not only did we win a fiercely contested nomination, but we went on to successfully take the seat back in a tough-fought general election. All right, so I posted on X this right here. Marco Mendicino resigns. He does not thank Justin Trudeau in his letter. He didn't mention him once. His own MPs and ministers used to almost worship him are turning against him. I think the Trudeau regime only has a few months left, and I'm so ready to see its downfall. And of course, this is a photo of Trudeau with a bunch of knives in it. And then Global News, or CTV News, came out with a video about it, so let's take a look.
Let's go to Ottawa now for some news that's just into our newsroom. Another high-profile Liberal MP will not be running for re-election. For more on this breaking news, let's bring in CTV's Judy Trin for more. So, Judy, what can you tell us? What are you learning?
Scott, what we're learning is that Marco Mendicino, an MP for Eglinton Lawrence and the former cabinet minister for public safety as well as immigration, is stepping down. He has said that he will not run in this year's election. In a lengthy statement that he provided to CTV News, he said that he was no fan of dollar amounts and fanfare of government announcements, but he did give us a clue as to the frustrations he was feeling and what led to this decision. He said it's the right time to do this for his family. And he says, it is no secret that I've disagreed with the current direction of the federal government on our foreign policy vis-a-vis our deteriorating relations with the state of Israel, our inadequate handling of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and our enfeebled role in the Middle East. As a matter of principle, I have been consistently outspoken in my condemnation of the unjust targeting of the Jewish community. So, Scott, this is a man, an MP. Marco Mendicino was seen as a rising star within the Liberal Party. He was basically dropped from cabinet last year after his handling of the Paul Bernardo case. Serial killer Paul Bernardo was transferred to a medium security institution, and that was done, and it was without his knowledge. He was not.
Yeah, I mean, the papers sat on his desk in his office or his staffer's office for like 40 or 60 days, so they claim, and they didn't look at anything. I mean, that's absolutely absurd. Ever since the Freedom Convoy, that's Marco Mendicino played a big role in invoking the Emergencies Act. Ever since then, you could tell he was a bigger, heavier guy, and the amount of stress that put on him, all of the inquiries, all of the pressure of, the legal consequences of what he had done, because it's since been proven by the courts in Canada that the Emergencies Act was, in fact, illegally invoked, which is his doing. He abused the power of the federal government. He went into hiding, and he lost a lot of weight, right? Probably stopped eating, starved himself, who knows? But then he's come back, and he's been very pro-Israel, because I believe that he is a Jewish MP, if I'm not mistaken, or he's Italian, but he backs Israel a lot. He's a big voice for Israel, just like Anthony Housefather. So of course he's not very happy with the state of his party that's openly supporting the pro-Palestine protests that are taking place. The Liberal Party is collapsing fully. You've got people within the Liberal Party that support polarizing things opposite of each other, and it's contradicting. And I get that, like being a federal MP, It's good to have opposition voices that support different things, and that way we can find that balance. But within your own party, I mean, it's just so unorganized. It's so catastrophic. It's not looking good for Justin Trudeau when his MPs are dropping left, right, and center. This guy was the right-hand man to Justin Trudeau during the convoy. He was the scapegoat, but he was the right-hand man. The only person that's left right now, Seamus O'Regan, gone. That guy's been around forever for Trudeau. Chrystia Freeland, gone, right? Then you got this guy, Marco Mendicino, gone. I mean, people are just dropping. Algebra, also, he won't be Omar Algebra, the rat. He's not going to be running a re-election. So everybody's dropping like flies. The only person that's sticking around is Dominic LeBlanc, Karina Gould. That's it. That's it. It's his old babysitter. That guy, Dominic LeBlanc, used to change Trudeau's diapers back in the day. He was his freaking babysitter. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Justin Trudeau. Perfect.
He did not keep abreast of that file, Scott.
And Judy, with so much turmoil already for the Prime Minister, what could this latest departure mean for the Liberals and the future of the government right now?
Well, we know at least 16 Liberal MPs will not be running again in the election. We do know that in a statement from the Liberal Party, they told us that they have approximately nominees selected in about 132 ridings, but there are 344 seats, so they still have to fill those positions. We also know that their chances for a re-election, if you are a Liberal, are really low right now. They are more than 20 points. They have, some polls show them behind the NDP in tracking. So these are the issues. We also know that since December 16th, that was the day that Chrystia Freeland announced that she was stepping down as the finance minister, triggering a massive chaos within the party. Basically, she's staying on. She will run, and she'll most likely put her hat in the ring for the leadership. But there have been renewed calls and greater calls for the Prime Minister to step down. Since December 16th, the majority of caucus members of Liberal backbenchers are now calling for the Prime Minister to resign and for there to be a leadership race. And this is all happening in the context of the Trump presidency. He's going to be inaugurated, Scott, on January 20th, and that's a full week before Parliament even resumes to deal with this issue.
Just a couple of weeks away from the incoming U.S. administration, CTV's Judy Trin with the latest on this breaking news story on another Liberal.
Yeah, I mean, even though Canada's taken some pretty immediate action in terms of these tariff threats, we haven't heard a single thing from Trump. No praise saying you guys are doing good up there in Canada. I'm starting to reconsider. Nothing. So as far as everybody's concerned, January 20th or January 21st, Canada is going to be subject to 25% tariff increase. So that's just absolutely absurd. And I don't know if there's anybody in this Team Canada approach that the Liberals have that is going to be fit for these types of negotiations. But of course, this is something that Trump is absolutely aware of. He knows what's going on here in Canada. He knows we're about to face an early election, that we're in our election year finally. And so maybe he pauses those tariffs and waits for the transfer of power for Pierre Poilievre to be Prime Minister and see how that goes. We don't really know yet, but again, time will tell. And we're going to have some answers in something as short as a couple of weeks from now. That is the end of the video, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Marco Mendicino. On your way out, if you haven't yet already, I'd like to encourage you guys to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.